Welcome back to the channel, folks. In today's video, we're doing a quick recap of what my experience has been like using the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE Plus over the past 9 months. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and whether you should go ahead and consider this tablet. Let's go ahead and jump in. First things first, let's go ahead and start with my take. If you're currently in the market for something in this range, the Tab S9 FE Plus here is definitely a go. I'm going to have a link in the description that's going to take you directly to some of the best deals that Samsung currently have running on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE. So if you can pick up this guy right here, go for it. The prices are heavily discounted, and if you could go up to the next config, I would highly suggest that you do that, because then you'll be getting 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the tablet itself. It's been 9 months. I typically treat my tablets pretty well, and I can tell you that I have not a single scratch on this tablet. And by the way, this is the one that my 7-year-old uses all the time. Again, no scratches, no dings, because it's a well-built tablet. Sure, it's a mid-range tablet. Of course, there are going to be some compromises here and there that Samsung makes in order to meet you at that price point, but still very well built tablet, right? If we go ahead and fly over some of the physical features that we have there, power button that also combos as a fingerprint sensor. Personally, I prefer physical fingerprint sensors like what we have here. Super fast, and of course, super secure. Very good to have that. We have a USB Type-C port. That's one of the ugly things about this tablet here. We have a USB Type-C 2.0 here. So you cannot push out video signal, meaning you cannot have your tablet extend to another display in a way where you use it as a computer or something like that, right? On the other hand, and I know some of you have asked this before, on the other hand, you can have a computer, have this, or you can have this as a secondary monitor, right? At least that's something. But anyways, you do have dual setup here for the speakers. They are very crisp, very good sound quality here. Of course, placement is also very good. In my experience using this, it's never been an issue, because I'm always holding the tablet this way if I'm playing a game or if I'm watching a movie. Same with my daughter. With her little hands, she holds it this way, so the sound coming out or the audio coming out, no problem there. So as far as my experience goes with just all of the physical features or the physical attributes of the tablet, very positive, except of course for that USB Type-C port for some of you guys. Personally, I do have flagship tablets, so it doesn't really bother me that much, but the reason I highlighted that is because some of you may want to know about it. Some of you actually do make use of that, so be aware. And by the way, please do me a favor, hit both the like and the subscribe button there. I truly appreciate that. Anyways, the next thing we're going to talk about here is going to be battery life. Of course, when it comes down to long-term review, battery is crucial. I mean, it's very important for you to know what battery life is like after using this for about 9 months. That said, I can tell you that you have nothing to worry about. Fantastic battery life. You have this tablet here loaded with 10,090 milliamp battery. It's a 10,090 milliamp battery. That's a pretty large battery, and the size of the tablet is a 12.4 inches, right? That battery is plenty. On top of that, it supports 45-watt charging. That's a very good thing, right? So if you run out of battery, you can charge your tablet back up rather fast, 45 watt, right? So battery, in my humble experience, has been fantastic. When we go on long trips, the kids, they don't have any issues, at least my daughter, because this is the one that she uses the most. She doesn't have any issues. She can watch her stuff on there, no problem whatsoever. Let's go ahead and talk performance. And of course, my unit here is the base unit, 128 gigs of internal storage, 6 gigs of RAM. Again, as I mentioned, if you hit the link in the description, you'll be able to take advantage of some of those discounts. While you do that, make sure, if you can, if you can spare a little bit more money, go for the next config, 256 gigs of internal storage, because that will afford you an additional 2 gigs of RAM, meaning your config would be 256 gigs of internal storage, 8 gigs of RAM, which is going to come in handy, especially when you do, a lot of things, having a lot of things running in the background. Now, if you do get the base model like mine here, it's still fine, because you can expand that internal storage up to 1 terabyte using the micro SD card slot that we have right there. That's another very cool feature about this. Anyway, so as far as performance goes, as I mentioned, 6 gigs of RAM here. It is loaded with an Exynos 1380, and I know there are some people who don't like that processor, but I can tell you that in my experience, it's been good. It's been really good. Remember, this is a mid-range tablet. You're not purchasing this and hoping for a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 or Gen 3 performance. This is a mid-range tablet with a mid-range performance. Now, I hope you've been enjoying your summer so far. And this leads me to today's video sponsor, Keeper Security. Keeper has been helping so many people enjoy their summer by having the peace of mind of knowing that their online data is safe. And just for that, Keeper has over 300,000 5 stars reviews in the app stores. It provides military-grade encryption to help you protect your data. Everything from credentials all the way to credit cards, passports, and even notes and files. With so many hacks and data breaches happening these days, using a password manager is one of the best ways to prevent your account from being hacked and your data stolen. As you all know, I'm a tech guy and I always go for what I deem to be the best, and that's the reason I use Keeper to manage and store my passwords, and I highly recommend it. Make sure to check out the link that I'm going to have in the description to learn more about it, and make sure to use my special discount code IvanCam50 when you sign up so that you can save 50% off. Anyways, as far as longevity goes, as it pertains to that processor, obviously it's going to be to a certain extent subjective, based off of how you use your tablet, right? If you are really pushing it all the time, heavy, video editing, heavy projects, heavy things, it's less likely gonna last longer than someone who's using it gently, right? Remember, these things are not necessarily built to be used like, high-end computers. Again, it's definitely set to last a while. In my experience, performance has been good playing games, doing multitasking, although I will add that when you go heavy multitasking, you'll definitely notice a lag. Totally normal. If you use it in a moderate way, the way it's supposed to be, moderately, you'll be fine. If you even push it to a certain extent, heavy use, you should still be fine in most cases. But when you really go crazy, that's when you start noticing it lagging. So that's as far as user experience goes. By the way, this video is not set to be a full review of this tablet. I've done that. I've actually made a bunch of videos on this tablet here. I've even done versus videos on this tablet. So this is more of a quick update after using it for about 9 months. So to recap, cosmetically, this tablet is in mint condition, despite, my daughter using it and myself using it also. It still looks good. No scratches, none of that stuff. I would suggest for you to pick up a case, maybe, to protect if you know that you might be roughing up the tablet a bit. But anyways, physically, it stands strong, very well built. Now, as far as performance goes, I think it's great performance for a mid-range tablet, a mid-range Android tablet, I should specify, right? As far as a mid-range Android tablet goes, this is good performance, and it's been very good in terms of my user experience with it. Watching movies, the display here is fantastic, by the way. As I mentioned, 12.4 inches on that display here. It's an IPS LCD. It can support up to 90 Hertz refresh rate, and consuming content here has been very good. Many of you ask if it would be good for Netflix and things like that. This is the perfect tablet for it. It's so good. The display is so good on here because you have to be aware that there are good IPS displays and bad IPS displays. This is Samsung. This is their business. That's what they do. They make very good displays, and they did that here. So consuming content has been top-notch on here. Battery life, very, very good. I have no complaint there. So even though there are a few things, that you can say, hey, it lags sometimes when you go heavy, or you can't push out the video signal and some of those things, overall, still a very good tablet, and I can still say that I recommend it to those of you who are in the market for something like this, or who are in the market for a large device, a large display. This is a nice one to pick up. Anyways, that's just my take. Let me know what any questions you may have in the comment section. I'm going to catch you in the comment section like I always do. Make sure to like the video, share the video if you know anyone will be interested. Make sure, of course, to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm going to catch you in the next video, and up until that next video, as always, stay safe out there.